just want to show you a couple of people that have been framed. They really come out big somewhere. You want to see this?
I got it. No, I'm not seeing it. Here's another batik.
Yeah, here's another batik that I thought was real beautiful. And it kind of depicts a scene here where they, I think they're making fufu. That's a product that they make over in.
Okay. The museum.
Welcome to our museum, the Sankofa. The museum was first opened back in February in 2011. And we had a wonderful grand opening here. And we are a non-profit 501c3 museum. And our basic objective in this museum is to talk about the slave trade. So we're going to kind of walk through and look at some of the artifacts. But mainly, we do a video, and we do questions and answers, and actually go back to West Africa. And I want to show you a couple of photos here. These are some of the slave castles back in Ghana. And right there, that's what we call the door of no return. You see slave exit to raided boats. So out of the castle that the slave traced the African saw before he ended up on a boat that delivered him to a slave ship. And he was never to return home again. This is a castle called the Elmina Castle. And this is myself with some African kids from Ghana in front of the castle. We just came back from a tour. And so during the tour, you go into all the dungeons and so forth, and you actually see where the slaves, the Africans were helped before they left Africa. And the story goes about 30% of the people that were captured died before they left the country. Mainly. Okay, what we normally do in the museum, we run a video that kind of talk in details about the slave trade, and to help people understand that slavery actually started in West Africa because the people that were brought over were captured in very different ways, either sold into slavery during the time. And slavery actually went on for 350 years, that they actually shipped people from the continent of Africa back into America, and the majority of the slaves went to Brazil. And that's why you have that mixture down in Brazil right now. And also, they populated the islands in the Caribbean, Jamaica, Haiti. We all are sisters and brothers, because we all came from West Africa. And on the coast of West Africa, there was over 40 locations similar to the one that you just saw, the castle, that were built to house and ship slaves during the slave trade period. And one of the castles that I visited in Ghana, they actually had a church on top of the castle. So on Sunday morning, the white captors would have church service with all the black people suffering down beneath them in the dungeons and so forth. And that's one more area I want to show you. We have what we call the door of no return, and we have a simulated door of no return, and we're just going to take a little walk through that so we can see what's on the door of no return. This actually means that we are leaving the continent of Africa and we're heading to the slave ship. And so as you can see here, the African would end up on a small boat that would actually transport them to the larger ship that they would take the voyage across the ocean. The typical slave ship will accommodate about 450 people. And the process was a sailboat. And sometimes it would take months to get across the ocean. And the conditions in the boat, as you can see here, this is the configuration of how the slaves was transported. And here, again, here's another picture. They had 13 inches of space between each layer, so they could get the maximum amount of people on the boat. Now, the word is that if someone, came down with some kind of contagious disease, they would actually throw them overboard while they were still living, so they wouldn't contaminate the rest of the shipment. For every live slave you got back here to the state are worth money. It's just like if you had a load of pigs in your car, they treat us the same way. Let's get rid of the one that's sick. And this is a carving that was made over in Africa, and it was depicting how they saw the slave trade, you know, from the castle to the ship. And I have this is some of the common events that happened right here, you know, in America. And this is the Birmingham bombing that you know, took the life of the 4 little girls, Make-Way Edward. This is Immigrate No Miss. And also the Tulsa race riot back in, must have been around 1922, 23, that they actually went into the black neighborhood and they bombed it, they burnt them completely out because they were successful black people making progress, and so they shut them down.
This is also known as the Black Wall Street.
Right, you're right.
Yeah, the Black
Wall Street.
The Black Wall Street.
Right.
Okay.
I just have one symbolic thing I'm going to tell you about. This ship here, symbolic carving of a slave ship. So what they're saying here, this was done in Ghana, and this is a depiction of the slave wanted to come back home, and so they're showing this with a rowboat and with the slaves going back across the Atlantic, trying to get back to Africa. So it's an imaginary ship that was done over in Africa. The folks trying to come back home.
It's just carved on all sides.
All 4 sides. It's a chest that you can store stuff in.
Wow.
I was just impressed with all the work that went into it to produce that. Close to home, and we have some piping, and some of us fellow like me used to pick it every day and put it in a bag.
I did too. I had a cotton sack.
So this is a summary that, but we do have a picture over here of black people in the cotton field, and that could be anywhere in the South. How we was out, you know, picking cotton down the town. They were, you know, we were down there.
Okay. This is the wall of black entertainers here. Miss Bessie Smith, Mr. Robert Johnson, and the blues man himself, B.B. King, and my favorite, Mr. Bobby Rush, along with W.C. Handy, who has a Handy Park there in Memphis, Tennessee. And this is some of the billboards of some of those entertainers.
They were back at the event hall here in Robbinsonville. We can accommodate anywhere from 25 to 500 guests here of events. And we do all sorts of events, from weddings to birthday parties, to regular just parties, political meetings, or whatever you may have a need for to use the hall. And we also have a bar with liquor if somebody wants to participate in that. So feel free to give us a call if you have an occasion that you might want to have an event down here in Robbinsonville. We'll be happy to accommodate you.